Hello class, Mr. Geisler here today. And today we're going to talk about graphing numbers on a number line and what that looks like. So the first thing we're going to learn is some vocabulary. A rational number is a number that may be written as a number over another number. In other words, it can be written as a fraction. Okay? Rational numbers include decimals, include fractions, anything that can be written as a fraction. If it can't be written as a fraction, it's not rational. So we're going to look at some problems here today. All right, we're going to graph these 4 points over here on our number line. Okay, so negative 3.2 is a negative number. Zero's in the middle. Zero is neither positive nor negative. When we go to the right, this way, it is going to be positive. When we go to the left, it is going to be negative. Okay? So positive versus negative. Okay. So negative 3.2. Are we going to go to the right? Nope. That's positive. We're going to go to the left. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3. Now negative 3.2 is a little bit further than negative 3. It's in between what? Negative 3 and negative 4, right in this area, right in here. So it's a little bit to the left. So we're going to put our point right here, right about there, and that's negative 3.2. A common mistake is to put it on the other side. Now that would be between negative 3 and negative 2, which would mean negative 2 point something. Okay? So that's a common mistake. What about negative 11 over 2? So let's take 2 into 11. Let's divide that up. Let's change this rational number into a decimal. 2 goes into 1 how many times? 0. So I'm going to just not put anything right there. 2 goes into 11 how many times? 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 11 minus 10 is 1. So that's left over, right? So 1 over what? 1 over 2. 1 over 2. We put 1 over whatever we're dividing by. It's 5.5. Let's find 5.5. Is that positive? Yes, it is. Over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's in between 5 and 6. It's halfway. So this is the point we're going to put right here. I'm going to put an arrow to it, and I'm going to make that 11 over 2. Now hold on. I forgot something. I forgot my negative. So it's actually what? It's negative 5.5. So we're actually going to go the opposite way to negative 5, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, over to here, negative 5.5. Okay, glad I caught my mistake. Okay, that's negative 11 over 2. Now this would be 11 over 2 if that was a number on that we were looking for. Okay, what about negative 2? Negative 2, that should be a little bit easier. 0, negative 1, negative 2, right here. Okay? And then finally, 3 and 3/5. So 3 and 3/5, when you think about it, 3 out of 5 is a little bit more than half, right? So we're going to go over to 3, and then we're going to go a little bit more over half. Should we go past 4? Nope. 3 and 3/5 should be right about there. Okay? And we can write up here 3 and 3/5. So we just graphed a bunch of rational numbers, and we looked at those, okay? Now, let's look at a problem down here. Who sketched negative 1 3/4, 0.5, and 1/4 correctly? Was it student A or student B? Well, let's start with student A. Negative 1 3/4. Go negative 1, and then almost a 2, but not quite. This looks right. That looks correct. What about 0.5? 0.5 is 5/10, which when we divide both of these by 5, we get 1/2. Oh, so that's halfway in between, right? That looks good to me. And then 1/4. 1/4, when we think about 1/4, if we divide 1 by 4, 4 goes into 1 0 times. Subtract, you get 1, bring down the 10. 4 goes into 10 how many times? Twice. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract, you get 2. Bring down the 0. 4 goes into 25 times. So it's 0.25. So that's right. These look okay. So let's just quickly look at this guy. He divvied it up by fourths. Okay, so 4 parts to each one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's see a negative 1 and 3/4. 1, 2, 3. That looks right. What about 0.5? Right about here. Is that halfway between 0 and 1? Yep. And what about 1/4? 1/4 would be 0.25. We already did that. But he's saying it's closer to 0. So this one right here is the problem. Okay? This should actually be right here. Okay? So that should be 0.25. So this is how we go ahead and put numbers on number line and then sketch them to see if they are correctly on there.